Okay, welcome to the Village of Wappingers Falls meeting of the Mayor and Board of Trustees for today, Wednesday, October 28th. Would everybody hold on one second while I share my screen to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay. Please stand if you can for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and John, would you do the roll call?
Mayor Alexander.
Here.
Trustee Markajohn.
Here.
Trustee Catalano.
Here.
Trustee Mesnick.
Here.
Trustee Huber.
Present.
Trustee Lemires. He's going to be running late. He called me. Trustee Panessa.
Here.
Village Attorney Wallace.
Here.
Okay, and right now you see the agenda. Is that what you have in front of you?
Yes.
That's not the most updated one.
Okay.
That's back maybe till around 2 or 3 o'clock today. There's one after that. It's on your desk.
Okay, so John, do you have it on your computer?
I emailed it to you.
Okay.
Mary, you want to go ahead and suspend the rules while we're doing this, waiting for it?
Yeah, why don't you do that? Mary, do you need to suspend the rules?
Yes, I need to make a motion to suspend the rules of order for the meeting for today.
Can I have a second?
Yes. Second.
Seconded by Trustee Huber. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, next item on the agenda. Excuse me, Mary, go ahead.
So I asked Adam Van Tassel, who is the fire chief for the Wappingers Falls Fire Department, to speak on today's meeting. He would like to talk to you guys about getting new portables for the fire department and mobiles as well. He was hoping to get approved for the grant of the AGF grant that they actually received notice today that they did not get the grant for this, and they were hoping that this grant money was going to pay for these radios. They are in desperate need of these radios. They are about 14 years old. They're at the end of their life. They cannot get parts anymore. They cannot get the software updated. So I asked Adam to join us today to talk a little bit about this.
Okay, Adam. You want to?
Yeah, as Mary stated, we have 27 portable radios and 7 mobile radios that are at the end of their life. We can't get any service for them. We can't get parts for them. We currently have about 6 radios that are out of service. This is a severe life and death piece of equipment that we need for communications during a fire, any kind of call that we have. We did, as she stated, we did apply for the AFG grant, and unfortunately we didn't get it. Motorola has offered a trade-in option that we can trade in all our old equipment. They give us about an $11,600 credit towards the purchase of all the radios. I think the total cost is $74,371, and that's after the trade-in. They also provided us with a couple financing options. I believe our treasurer has also inquired about through Real Lease, a financing option, a 5-year financing option. I believe everybody should have a copy of Motorola's proposal. And yeah, we're just looking to try and get this moved forward. It's something that we're in desperate need of, and it's an important piece of equipment that we need. Very important, probably one of the most important. Can't communicate, things can go bad quick.
Okay, are there any questions for Adam? So Adam and Mary, I believe Mary spoke with Jessica today about the leasing that Motorola provided, and she also looked at the leasing deal, which she might be able to get from other sources. Jessica, do you want to talk to the board?
Yeah, so it was cheaper to go through Real Lease with the lease payments. It saves about $245 a year, so. And we can also extend it out over 5 years instead of just being cut off at 4.
Well,
Okay.
Mayor, the only comment I have to make is I think that because of the amount of the contract order, we may have to, resort to the procurement policy and just make sure that the way around that is to go through, through the state.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mark. I should have added that. It's all New York State bid contract. Everything is on New York State bid pricing.
Oh.
Okay,
All
so,
right, well, that's good. Can you get us that information and then?
Yeah, it's actually part of Motorola's proposal. It has the contract number on it for the New York State bid proposal.
Yeah, I actually have the contract number right here. Oh, I know you guys probably
Can
can't
you
see.
yeah, I mean, because these minutes are going to be, on eventually transcribed. Mary, if you could read the contract number, we can then at least, get a resolution together or, something to get. Had I known, I would have had a resolution ready for you.
I got the email, so I can email everybody the contract. Adam emailed me yesterday because I couldn't make the meeting, had a family emergency.
All right.
Yeah.
I think though, it would be best if I had this resolution ready for your action at the special meeting next Tuesday. That way everything gets done. Is that all right, Adam?
Yeah, Motorola, they were holding the trade-in pricing for us. They were holding that for us until the 30th of October. He said if we needed more time, then he could possibly ask his team for an extension on that, which I can certainly reach out and find out. But they were holding it to see if we got the AFG grant. And unfortunately we didn't. So now, everything seems to be last minute, but
Yeah.
it's been multiple months in the making. I'm sure Corey can attest. It was, it's probably been about 6 months in the making here. It's
You
just
can blame it
everything-
on legal and, we have to attach the minutes of the resolution anyway, so.
No, I understand. I can reach out to Motorola. Hopefully they can keep it, for 4 more days. It's not, hopefully that shouldn't be an issue.
I'd
don't see
also
why.
like to ask the board, tonight, we're going to be passing a contract with Dutchess County for their purchasing services, and I do think that they should use that purchasing service or use Jessica to find out and independently verify, not from you, Adam, but from the source that you're going to be buying from, whether or not they're on the current valid New York State bid list, and that we're allowed to use them. So Jessica, if you could look at that first before Tuesday, and if you need assistance from Dutchess County through the purchasing department, you would go through them and talk to them.
Okay.
Okay? So John Carge, would you add that to the agenda for the Tuesday meeting that we're
Yes.
proposing?
Yep.
Are you good with that, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, if that's how we have to proceed. That's how we have to proceed. You know, I can't make anything else happen. That's good. It's good enough.
Okay.
I do believe Dutchess County 911 does go through muller order to buy all the.
You're on mute, Mary.
Sorry. I do believe Dutchess County 911 does use these guys for all their purchases.
So what I'd say to the board is that you should be adding to the voucher package every time you believe that somebody is on the New York State bid. You should add written verification from either the treasurer or Dutchess County procurement that that is in fact the case as a backup for the voucher package. So, and I'm sure that's right, but so every once in a while, it's last year's bid or somebody else has the bid and we're not allowed to use the bid because the person didn't, the vendor in question didn't use didn't respond to a bid in a way that allows them to be used on for other municipalities. So we should add that to what you're doing. Okay.
Kevin, can you email me that pricing? Or Mary? email-
Adam.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Jessica, I believe Jessica already has it.
No, Kevin has it. Kevin was emailing it.
I got it.
Everybody should have it already.
I have it as well.
Can I just ask when the first payment would be made? Do they give you time or does it start right away or?
It would start June 1st, 2021 if we went with the real lease. If we went with Motorola, it would be a year from whenever we executed the contract.
Jen, you're on mute.
So the first payment wouldn't be either 6 months or a year, depending on which company you went with.
Right.
Okay. So can we move on, Mary?
Okay, motion to resume rules then.
Yeah. So could we have a motion to resume the rules?
I'll make it.
Second,
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we've done the roll call, correct, John?
Motion passed.
Yes,
Okay. The motion to resume the rules passed. All those in favor? Just
Aye.
gonna- Any opposed? Okay.
I just sent it to you, John.
Okay, I would like, actually, at this time, I think I would like to, we also have Tom Morris, the chairman of the planning board, online with us, and I'd like to ask if we could suspend the rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll make it.
Second,
second,
all those in favor? That was Jen Nisnik who seconded. All those in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I did, you may have seen in the news yesterday or been made aware by myself or someone in the village that I have asked to come before the board and announce that I will be resigning at the end of the year 2020. And I'd like to read into the record a letter I've written. And first I would like to ask, I'd like to ask the board to accept my resignation for the end of 2020. Dear fellow residents, it's been the privilege and honor of my life to enjoy the reward and fulfillment of service to my neighbors as mayor. However, all things must come to an end, and my service to you has come to that point. For over 18 years, I served the people of the village of Wappingers Falls, with almost 14 of them as mayor. Over this extraordinary past year in enforced solitude and decreased mobility, I reflected on my own needs. With great sadness, I am now announcing that I will be stepping down as mayor in December to pursue other opportunities. Our time together has been full of success and failure, joy and grief, as well as growth and decline. But from the past 14 years, I hope you see mostly good. I will do just that. I see how we have made great changes in our community over time. Though I have some regrets, my belief is that together, we have made the village a much better place than it was. The best of our village is its people, and I have gotten to know so many of you in a special way that has made me better for it. I will miss this job more than any other. It was a very difficult decision, but I am confident that wonderful things lie ahead for all of us. Godspeed and be well, my fair village. I will see you next as a fellow private citizen and hope to enjoy the future with you here for many years. Sincerely, Matt Alexander, Mayor of Wappingers Falls. I would also just like to say and acknowledge only some of the many people who have been most impactful to me as mayor. And first and foremost, I would like to acknowledge John Carge, who I have worked with more than anyone else here while in the village. John and I talk daily. We, even when John is away, John has helped me in so many different ways outside of his duties as clerk and inside of his duties as clerk. And I believe I have a friend in John Carge, and I know that I have a dependable civil servant who takes the best interests of the village of Wappingers Falls to heart. And I'd like to thank John Carge and acknowledge all he has meant to me in the past. There have been many others though, and I'd like to acknowledge Mary Ross, past mayor of the village of Wappingers Falls, who first appointed me on the planning board to Tom Vicentin's seat, where I got to serve with Tom Morris and Donnie McCormick, among many, many others. And I really respect all of those people from my planning board experience, along with Michelle Gregg, and would just like to say thank you to all of them. I've also had regular discussions with and regularly sought assistance from Lou Viglotti and Jay Paggi, who both on a daily basis I would talk to and seek guidance from. And Jay Paggi and I would usually start the day off before 8 o'clock with a phone call. It used to be about water, and then very often it got to be about many other things, and sometimes about the village and sometimes not. But Jay Paggi has done wonderful things for the village and was a great guiding force for this village, and really one who was primarily responsible for bringing back water to the village of Wappingers Falls. And I just want to thank him. Lou Viglotti, with his decades of experience in the village, has guided us and advised us on many different problems and let us know what's going on. I'd like to acknowledge some of our past leading politicians whom I've respected and gotten lots of knowledge from: Cal Lawrence, Rick Serino, Bob Giuliano, Rob Alfonso, Greg Hemingway, Scott Davis, Janice Hildebrand, Ronnie Komornick, Jason Ensign, who is sometimes a politician and sometimes with the fire department. He has, all of those people have meant a great deal to me and helped me to understand what might be the best way to go. And together we have made decisions for the village. I would like to also acknowledge Denise Calabrese, who started off with me at the beginning, Eileen Sassman, who helped me to understand what the comprehensive plan was all about and to make sure that I was following it and looking for ways to add to it. I'd like to acknowledge our current engineers, Raj Ravila, Nancy Clark, and John Zarowski, who have, and all of the firm of KC, who has really worked with us in so many different ways and done tens of millions of dollars worth of infrastructure work here in the village of Wappingers Falls. Carl Calabrese for his many, many years as police commissioner, as well as Walter Berg, who has served both as on the force and now as police commissioner. And I would also like to acknowledge our current counsel, Craig Wallace, for all of the help that you've given us as we've moved forward, along with Lisa Cobb and Jim Horan. So I just want everyone to know that this decision was an extremely difficult one for me. I truly mean it when I say that this job for me was the best job I ever had. It's the most fun I ever had, and I have especially enjoyed working for the people of Wappingers Falls. But upon reflection over the many months that we spent in either full lockdown or semi-seclusion as we were dealing with the virus, I've come to realize that there are some things that I need to do for myself, and would like the board to accept my resignation so that I can go on and continue those things, but always know that I will be here and do intend to stay here for as long as the good Lord will let me stay here, and that I would enjoy this time with you always, and look forward to spending more time with you and as either a guide if you want guidance, or just as a citizen enjoying all the wonderful things that we have in the village of Wappingers Falls. There are so many people who I am not naming, but the people that I have named have spent much of their time with me and have guided me in ways that they may not know. And I just want to acknowledge all the guidance that I've gotten from them, and wish them well, and as well as everybody in the village of Wappingers Falls. So I thank you for this opportunity to serve you over these past 18 years in different posts, whether it be the planning board, on the village board, or as the mayor. I will be starting a full-time position in the city of Peekskill on November 9th. I would like to remain on as a part-time mayor from November 9th to the end of the year. And I would like to use that time to help you figure out how we might transition from where we are now to the way we want to continue in the future. So I will truly miss these meetings and working with people and getting to know all of you in the very special way that I've got to know you. And I thank you for this opportunity to serve. So thank you very much. So that is what I wanted to share with you, and I thank you for this opportunity. And at this time, I'd like to ask the board if there could be a motion to accept my resignation for the end of 2020.
I'll make the motion to accept your resignation for the end of 2020, Mayor.
Thank you, Kevin. A second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Trustee Panessa. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mayor, that would be effective 12/31/20
12/31, yes.
at midnight.
Okay, So what do you see in front of you on the screen? Are you seeing the agenda?
Yeah, so
Yep.
we need a motion to resume the rules and resume the agenda in order.
Okay, could I have a motion to resume the rules and resume the agenda in order?
I'll make it.
I'll
Second.
second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, next item on the agenda is John Zarelski. Would you take us through the projects that we're working on?
Of course. So I would like to say, though, it has been a pleasure working with you, Matt.
Oh, thank you, John.
I've been here for really just about a year now. It has been wonderful. Moving forward here, the boathouse project exterior improvements. We were able to finally get the insurance and bonds together this week, so we need to schedule a signing and proceed, which will start the clock. So that project will be beginning very soon. And we have been receiving submittals already for them and reviewing them and approving them. Franny Reese Park is down to punch list items, substantially complete. The work remaining is the stair, riser height issue, the handrail, the fence, and the locking gate at the top of the stairs, and then a few other punch list items. The tap project is essentially complete as well, down to just punch list items on that project. And contract 5, which is the interconnect between the town and the village, Wappingers Falls on Veloci Road, that will be going to the Department of Health a little bit, probably later this week. Thursday or Friday, we'll be submitting it to all the agencies for review. We did meet with the Department of Health, the water plant last week, and went over it with him. So he does know that Dan with the Department of Health has seen it and seems to be happy. It will solve the lack of a second well once we get this done. The water filter plant, the USD application is complete and will be submitted this week. Bain Park. Of course, I'm scrolling, but the screen isn't scrolling that you're seeing.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. We're down to Bain Park, so that the mapping has been transmitted to the village. We had a public hearing on the 20th of October. The work that we'll be doing will in the next late winter, I guess, and early in next year would be we're going to put together the concept master plan, the design for the playground equipment, and then of course the seeker long form part 1. The grease trap, the planning committee did meet. Work continues on that. We're shooting for that to be completed this year. So that should be by December, even though it was a 2-year grant, we'll be getting it done. And then the EPA brownfields, we're still waiting on the EPA to give us the nod at the Bleachery site to move forward on that for a phase 2. The sewer and water infrastructure study, nothing new has been done on that. Everything's been submitted. We haven't got comments back. And then Podgy Terrace, the same thing. We are waiting for the village to tell us if we can do more on that.
Okay, and there's a couple of things I want to just touch up on. So the Village of Wappingers Falls mayor, myself, and the deputy mayor, Kevin Huber, as well as Nancy Clark and Raj Ravila from KC, met with the New York State Department of Transportation. Kevin, was that yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, yesterday at 3 o'clock to discuss moving forward with the wall. It's apparent to us that the Department of Transportation is going to be doing some boring tests along 9D in the vicinity of south of 2684 West Main Street and north of 2674 West Main Street. So they're looking to close off 8 parking spots between those 2 locations on the east side of the road so that they can divert traffic into a 2-lane thoroughfare using those parking spots. So I've given the police commissioner the map that shows that information. And I would like to ask if we can have the business association reach out to the businesses that will be affected from Monday to Friday next week as the Department of Transportation does some of the work that they need to do in order to assess what kinds of fixes can be done along West Main Street. And also, I would like to say that Bain Park, Corey, I believe we're going to be doing a planting along Bain Park for Arbor Day, which was in April, but because of COVID has been postponed until November. And that's coming up this weekend or next weekend?
Well, we're still, it'd probably be in 2 weekends. We're still waiting on the trees to get here. I ordered them about a month ago. The shields that go around the tree, but they said they weren't going to send the actual trees until November. That's when they say is the best time to plant in the fall, so they don't even send them out until then. So I definitely not this weekend. I would say next weekend, the earliest.
Okay.
Matt, Matt, can I ask you a question on the parking? Is
Sure.
that Monday through Friday? Is that all day, all night, or is that just during their work hours and it'll open
Just-
back up?
During their work hours.
So it's not permanent for just the whole time. It's probably 7 to 4 or 7 to 5.
7 to 5, I would say. And it's possible it could go past 5 if they run into a serious problem.
But it's not overnight. Okay.
Not overnight. It's not contemplated to be overnight unless there's an emergency. I did want to just add, since we're talking about Bain Park, I can add in here other people who I did leave off of my list of people to acknowledge, and I'd like to acknowledge Danielle Masterson, Denise Calabrese. I would also like to acknowledge Yvette O'Sullivan and Tammy Vituli, as well as Cindy Latino, who have been the head of recreation and that includes many, many other people, but I would like to acknowledge all the good work that they've done in the past, and I'm sorry for, I somehow omitted them in the list before, as I am sure I've omitted many, many other people, but I did want to especially acknowledge them. So are there any questions for the engineer, myself, or anybody on the board about the projects that John Zarowski went over or I kept talking about afterwards? Okay, if there's no questions, then we'll keep going on with the agenda. And I did talk to John Zarowski today about the easement for Central Hudson for the gas regulator. John, did you touch on that already?
We have we're going to be dealing with that. That's for the special meeting next week. We did at 4 o'clock. They finally got us the drawings that actually show the easement with the meets and bounds that we have been asking for. I will get into that and review that and make sure that it's accurate for next week's meeting.
I'll be working with John on that. As soon as he gives his okay and his recommendation to adopt that area, then I will prepare the easement for the board's consideration of adoption at next week's special meeting.
Okay.
So the special meeting is on Tuesday.
So you'll add this to the special meeting on Tuesday John Carge, you'll add this easement?
So far, yep, we'll have the easement and we'll have the radios.
Okay.
I think that's all you need me for tonight, correct?
I think so, unless there's any questions for John Zarowski from the board. Are there any questions? If there's no questions from the board, are there any questions at all from the public? Okay, thank you, John.
Take care,
Have a good
everyone.
night.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll move past the easement. And we will move on. So the next item, I think, John Carge, is the Delaverne Avenue subdivision. Notice
No.
of lead agency.
No, it's the,
What's the next item?
it's the agreement with the county.
It's the agreement, Matt, with the county that we talked about a little earlier
County
today.
planning.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I see it, all right. So the next item on the agenda is, I'd like to ask the board if we could sign again onto the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development for review. And the, John, do you want to, this has to do with New York General Municipal Law, Section 239.
I spoke
The
with
county
Jennifer.
reviews our plan.
I spoke with Jennifer Kokoza today, Dutchess County Planning, and 5 years ago, the village agreed to not have them do certain reviews of our local projects that really weren't relevant to them. And it was agreed to 5 years ago, and the county only, according to her, the county only goes with 5-year contracts. So this one is up for 1 year with 4 automatic signed agreements afterwards. So it's a matter of data hygiene, is to just make sure that our agreement is in place. And they're asking for the mayor to sign the agreement, which we're asking the board to allow him to do.
Yeah, if
So
I
it doesn't
may add,
even-
Mayor, I'm sorry, John, are you done?
So it isn't anything different than the board took place, agreed to 5 years ago.
So basically, the agreement, everything has
Okay.
to be referred to county planning, and the agreement streamlines the process, and it actually allows for certain actions where the referrals are eliminated. So like, for example, special use permits before the ZBA or renewals and extensions of site plans and special permits that have no changes from previous approvals. Those are things that, help streamline the process. Obviously the important ones, such as comprehensive master plans and rezoning, that will still have to go before county planning, but it's set forth in the agreement at paragraphs 3 and 4 that basically sets it out. So it's a good way to bypass and streamline and make our boards a lot more efficient, quicker. So,
Okay, so the items that will be eliminated are administrative amendments, which include zoning amendments regarding fees, procedures, and penalties, special use permits, use variances and area variances for residential uses, and renewals, extensions of site plans or special permits that have no changes from previous approvals. And then the referrals, which will not be eliminated, shall be the comprehensive plans or master plans, zoning amendments, which affect standards, uses, definitions, district regulations, rezonings of areas, other proposed local laws, and other authorizations adopted pursuant to zoning, wetlands, historic preservation, affordable housing, architectural review, etc. Site plans, all site plans, and special permits, use variances, and area variances for all non-residential uses. So those are the main differences and things that are staying the same in this new agreement. So if that's okay, could I have a motion to pass this resolution as it's presented?
I'll make
to you?
that motion.
Second,
Second.
seconded by trustee Huber. I'll do a roll call. Trustee Huber,
Aye.
trustee Markajon,
Aye.
trustee Panessa,
Aye.
trustee Niznik,
Aye.
trustee Catalano,
Aye.
and is trustee Lammers with us yet? Okay, and I will vote aye myself, and just note that trustee Lammers is absent. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a resolution for a Delaverne Avenue subdivision, and it's for a parcel that has a very small piece of the parcel with that cut where the village line cuts through a portion of the house. However, it's an over 4-acre parcel, and they're proposing to subdivide it, and the subdivisions will be in the town of Poughkeepsie and they will it will include 6 new residential lots with infrastructure proposals to include the extensions of public water and sewer and the dedication of a new road for the town of Poughkeepsie. Does the attorney or the clerk want to, or Tom Morris, the planning board chair, want to add anything to what I've said?
Well, basically, the project is mostly in the town of Poughkeepsie, and because part of it is within the village is an interested party for seeker purposes and has been noticed by the town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board of their intent to be lead agency for seeker purposes. So it's a routine process since most of the project is going to affect the town of Poughkeepsie. The recommendation is to defer action and just defer to the town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board as the lead agency.
And this is Tom. I responded to the note. First, I had a little confusion, but Craig has just clarified that. I got a clarification from Lisa back when I sent the note out because it was actually like 4.1 acres and 3.8 of it was in the town of Poughkeepsie. So really, there's not much in there, and I had no objection to them to continue on lead agency as it really will impact us at all.
Okay, I think you cut out, Tom, but okay. Okay, so I think I hear that, Tom, that you're agreeing that you're recommending that you sign this?
Yes, I am agreeing that the town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board should be lead agency.
Okay. I'd just like to bring up an assertion that I have, and that is for purposes of voting, I consulted with the Board of Elections, and the understanding is that in cases where the political boundary goes through a parcel, if the political boundary includes the bedroom in the house, that it is able to vote in the village. If it's in the village, it's able to. If the bedroom's in the village, it's able to vote in village elections. And I'd just like to note for the records that it's my belief that this is the case with the existing house on this, what would be the 7th lot, before you create the 6 new additional lots. So I'd like that to be put in there into the, just noted with the minutes.
I have a question. I have a question. Are they looking to tap into the village water and sewer lines?
I don't see that in this agreement. That doesn't mean that they can't come and ask us that later.
Okay, because my only concern would be is if they did, that is a town road, and in case of a situation where we had to go out and do something with our water lines to shut them off, or, you know, to fix a leak or fix a broken sewer pipe, we are going to be working in the town right away and not in the village right away. So I don't know if we should.
Well,
I don't know
that
how that
part
would-
of, it's a good question, but that particular question isn't before this board at this particular time.
All right.
Just the seeker aspect, in order to move their application along. They're gonna have to also bring an application before the village board, planning board, albeit, you know, it's gonna be a smaller application, but at least they're going to need, you know, to come before our board. And at that point in time, the full application will be before that board, and you'll be able to see the scope, and you'll be able to see what, if any, effect it would have on village or town roads.
Yeah, I just want to make the board aware that it's a town road, and if it does hook to the village water, I mean, it runs right up there, but we'll be digging in a town right away. So I just want to, you know, make sure everybody knows what's going on up there.
So if those things happen, I think we should also look to see if the tank that we have that's fully in the town of Poughkeepsie, that must have a water main going in town right of way, has an easement for us to, a utility easement for us to be able to do work where that water main goes. And maybe if there is no easement, we should get one, and if there is an easement, we should extend that easement to include whatever service needs to go to the properties that are in question.
That's all.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Are there any other questions about this? If there's no other questions, could we get a motion to allow the town to be lead agency for the Delaverne Avenue subdivision?
I'll make
I'll
the
make it.
motion.
Okay, second. I took trustee Catalano as the motion. Who's the second?
I'll second.
Seconded by trustee Huber. I'll do a roll call vote. Trustee Huber,
Aye.
trustee Markajon,
Aye.
trustee Panessa,
Aye.
trustee Niznik,
Aye.
trustee Catalano.
Aye.
We'll say that trustee Lammers is absent, and I will vote aye myself. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a resolution creating the Climate Smart Communities Task Force. It's dated October 28th, 2020. Corey, can you talk to us about this?
Yeah. So I brought this up maybe once or twice in previous meetings. Essentially, this year, we've signed the village up to be a climate smart community. And essentially what that is we've signed on this thing to any future projects or development or, infrastructure upgrades we do. We make an attempt to be environmentally aware and try to make climate smart choices. And this program has a point system in which the more points you have, based on the amount of projects you do, the more points you have, the more you're considered for future projects and grants. And we just signed up, but with tallying through how much points we already have, we are on the brink, if not at the point of becoming a bronze community, which is a really good milestone. And part of this whole thing is creating a task force. And with me, I asked Micah Kenfield to come. I'm going to let him introduce himself in a second, but Micah has been in on these meetings. We have monthly meetings, me, Todd Bowen, and Cornell Cooperative Extension. And Micah has been on these meetings as well to sort of start setting up and establishing our task force. And He's very qualified for this, which is why we nominated him to be our chair. So, Micah, would you like to introduce yourself to the board?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to meet all of you virtually. So I'm Micah Kinfield. I moved to Wappingers Falls about 6 months ago, but I've been in the Poughkeepsie area for about 18 months as Vassar College's Director of Sustainability. So I've been very involved with developing action plans for responding to climate, looking at how you can really leverage what you're already doing to receive the recognition you deserve, and just generally, doing what we can for the environment and for the city or village. Sorry. Yeah, I've been. Gosh, I don't know what else to include in that, but now I'm very excited. I love living in Wappingers Falls. It's a beautiful community, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to give back.
Thank you, Micah. And so you guys, Corey, you and Micah have been working on the Climate Smart Communities Task Force. Have you talked about adding more people to it?
Well, yes. Technically, the task force isn't a thing yet until hopefully today when this resolution is passed. But we are looking to recruit more people. At the moment, it's me, Micah, and Todd Bowen. And yes, we are, again, it's just starting, but we will hopefully be looking to recruit to get a task force of at least maybe 5 to 6 people. So this is, again, the early stages, but yeah, we're open for anyone who would like to join.
Okay, so if you're interested in being part of the Climate Smart Communities Task Force, get in touch with Corey, myself, or one of the trustees. And so could you tell us a little bit more about some of the initiatives that might come out of this?
Well, again, a lot of it looks at the projects you've done that are climate aware, like if we get a whole new row of streetlights, are they LED streetlights? Or, we've worked on expanding parking and updating our sidewalks, which promotes walkability and less gas emissions. And this kind of stuff gives us points, which then in turn would allow us to apply for more grants like that. And again, the more points we have, the more we are considered for these types of projects. So it's almost the more you do, the more you will be able to do. And we just think moving forward, especially with the way the world is going, there's no better time to start doing this and start focusing on it more now than ever. So.
Very good. Okay, thank you both. So do we need to, so we need to
this
pass
resolution. Sorry, Matt.
So
this resolution would essentially be to create this task force and to nominate Micah as the chair. And then from then on, we can actually, begin and start recruiting even more people.
Okay, so with that said, could I get a motion to pass this resolution to create the Climate Smart Communities Task Force and name Micah Kinfield as the chair?
I'll make it.
And a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Markajon. I'm going to do a roll call vote because it's a resolution. Trustee Huber?
Aye.
Trustee Markajon?
Aye.
Trustee Panassa?
Aye.
Trustee Niznik?
Aye.
Trustee Catalano?
Aye.
And Trustee Lammers is absent and will vote aye myself. So congratulations. Thank you, Micah, for stepping up to the plate. We appreciate your volunteer efforts, and we also appreciate your experience that you bring to the Village of Wappingers Falls. Thank you for helping us.
Thank you all so much.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a safety item, and I would like to ask Walter Burke if he could talk to us about a full-time police officer hire?
Sure, Mayor. Peter Castano has been a part-time officer with us for almost 2 years. He was also moved to the village, is a resident of the village now. And after a decision that we decided to go with him and not anybody else on the civil service list, I think he'll make an excellent full-time officer for us.
Excellent. Okay. Any discussion from the board? So the police committee just had a meeting. You guys are good with this?
I'm
Could I-
good.
Could I have a motion
I'll make it.
and a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by trustee Catalano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next item on the agenda, Commissioner Burke, would you talk to us about Anthony Hensley?
Yes, we decided to go back and sponsor somebody for the academy. He came recommended to us. He's local, and we decided that we'll sponsor him through the final phase of the academy. He's responsible for paying for certain items, but he will be entering his final phase next month. And by December, we'll have him in the field training program and hopefully on patrol by sometime in February.
Okay, great. So any questions from the board? Could I just get an acknowledgement from the police committee that you guys have discussed this?
Mayor, I think I have to abstain from this one because I'm friends with him.
I don't know if that calls for, you can still abstain, but I don't think that's necessary because of friendship. I'll just ask the attorney.
Do I have to vote here, Craig, or can I vote or? should I
Can you
abstain?
be, as long as you could be fair and impartial, you
Be
can,
fair.
if you feel you could be fair and impartial, if you feel you cannot be fair and impartial because of your friendship, then you should not vote.
I can be fair. He's a member of the firehouse. That's why I'm saying this.
Well, it is an appearance. It's up. It comes down to one of fairness and impartiality.
Yeah, I could be fair.
Okay, so could we get a motion?
I'm sorry, where did we get the? Sorry, I hit the unmute. Where did we get the recommendation from?
I believe Commissioner Burke.
Okay, I'm good.
You're good? Okay, so could we get a motion to hire Anthony Hensley as a part-time police officer?
I'll
I
make
make a
it.
motion.
So who's the motion?
I'll make it.
So we have a motion from trustee Panessa, second,
Second.
seconded by trustee Markajon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, before we, I am going to ask that we go into executive session, but before we do that, I'd like to ask if the board has anything that they'd like to bring up at this time.
I do as a clerk.
Okay,
Parking at Mary Ross Park. I put a sign together. I created one consistent with local law 6/2020 that you approved last meeting. And I sent it out to the highway committee for their review. And I asked for comments. I didn't get any comments back, so I can go to print with it. As many of the residents on West Main Street have been calling me over the past 6 weeks about getting parking permits for that parking lot. So I just wanted to update you that I'll go ahead and order the signs and have them placed in that park consistent with local law 6.
So John, they're going to have permitted parking and there's going to be signs where the parking is going to be permitted too, correct?
There'll be permitted parking, but there won't be any designated spots for it.
No problem.
yeah, so I would like to just be extra careful and ask if all all the board members who got a copy of this send back an acknowledgement to John and myself that the way he's done this is okay. I mainly want to do this to make sure that you've taken a look at it, because it would be better to know that actually looked at it. So could you acknowledge that to John before tomorrow morning in an email?
Yeah, I can do that. Are you talking about Mary Ross Park or Reeves Park?
Rainy Reese Park.
Okay.
If you didn't get the email, let me know. I'll send it back to you again.
Yeah, so John, you might as well send it to the other board members too.
Okay.
myself, just to
All
make
right.
sure. So I'd like everybody to weigh in on that.
Okay, I will send it out and request comments again. I'll send it out tomorrow morning.
Okay, anything else from the board?
Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I just have one other thing. We put in a grant application, also Farrell did. It was for vest reimbursement, and we were awarded $5,300 towards vests, so we'll be paying half the price of the vests. We figure we can probably get 14 vests for officers who need replacements and also new officers.
Very good. Good work. Thank you, guys. And Corey, I believe you had something to do with that, so thank you. Okay, anything else?
Mayor, before we adjourn, Jason would actually like to say something.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hi, Matt. I just want to thank you for your years of service as the mayor of the Village of Wappingers. I had the pleasure of working with you over the 14 years as a fire chief. And thank you for everything you've done for the firehouse, equipment-wise, and good luck on your new journey in the city of Peekskill.
Thank you, and big thank you to all the firemen who came out there for me when I needed it personally. But I've enjoyed working with all of you, even when there's not a fire. So
yeah, I'll be in touch still. Don't worry.
Good, thanks. Okay, if there's, so are there any public comments from anybody from the public? No public comments. We do need to go into executive session for personnel. And I would like to ask if Tom Morris could join us in that. And also, I believe we might have some, do we have matters of litigation or bargaining?
Yes.
Okay, for both of those. So personnel, litigation, and bargaining unit negotiation. Could I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make it.
Second.
Second.
Second with trustee Huber. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, Tom, could you stay with us for that?
The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return.
Okay, so we have, can we get a motion to come out of executive session?
I'll make it.
I'll make it.
Second.
So we got trustee Pessa and trustee Catalano seconding. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we have two motions, and the first motion, just correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a motion to authorize our counsel, Rich Zuckerman, to act on behalf of the village and engage in negotiations with the PBA? Can I get a motion?
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the second motion, is there a motion to request that the board take affirmative action to instruct Dutchess County Civil Service to rescind our request for a new sergeant exam in 2020.
I'll make it.
I'll
Second.
Seconded by trustee Kevin Huber. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll
make
make
that.
it.
Kevin Huber, second.
Second.
Second, Mary Panessa. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, very good. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Right.
Good night, all.